Hey YouTube, welcome back to UniXTCG for another Gundam card game video. Now, conveniently, right before I had to go to work, we got the full set release for GD02 Dual Impact, and I must say there's a lot to unpack. And between things like archetype breakdowns and preliminary deck lists, we will have plenty to go over on this channel in the next week, so I hope you stay tuned. But for this video, I want to go over what may be the biggest cornerstone to each new archetype and even returning archetypes, which are going to be the LRs. And when it comes to the LRs, I think we also need to go over the pilots as well, because it really is a two-card combo in terms of intention on how they're supposed to be used. So let's hop into that. Smash that like button if you like this sort of content. Subscribe if you want to join the UniX fam today and never miss a beat with Gundam card game content I produce here. And then one more announcement. Okay, so first and foremost, I just want to ask you guys to excuse the slightly longer intro. This was supposed to be in today's video and the whole announcement, but then I saw that the set was released and I had to rearrange things. So yeah, the point is though, I will be changing up the structure of how I do gameplay. Normally you guys get the gameplay with all the bells and whistles and production I put around it, the commentary, and then I normally put a light goal and then I release the deck profile. We're switching things up now. Now, when I put out a gameplay video, you're still going to get that high level of editing, but you're also going to get the deck profile of the deck in question that I'm playing right before then. What's more though is that every time I go to locals, I normally record every single match unless a person specifically tells me they don't want to be on film, which means that there are generally anywhere between 2 to 4 matches that are just left on the cutting room floor, because I go through them and I pick out the ones with the spiciest matchups, spiciest deck lists, spiciest interactions, and whether I win or lose it, I upload it so you guys can see that back and forth. So from here on out, you will be getting the deck profile, you will be getting the match in question, but then I am going to be opening up a $1 membership on this channel, and on that membership wall, you are going to be able to have the other matches that didn't make the cut up on there. So on a week, since I go to an average of 2, sometimes 4 locals, you will get anywhere between 6 to 12 additional matches that should come up on the channel that I'll just record, and that should be pretty fun. There are going to be other things coming to the membership side in the future, and I will be doing a bunch of members only posts so you guys can kind of just see what you want to do, and we'll just kind of edit, we'll grow that part together. But $1 a month makes a lot of support for me, and I'll be able to put up a lot more content just because I know people are willing to consume it. So with that being said, thank you guys for that longer intro, and let's get into the breakdown of these LRs and their pilots. Okay, so going into our first pair, we have Psycho Gundam along with its pilot for Murasame, and Psycho Gundam is a level 6 4 cost, just 4 or 5 unit. Titans is the trait, and it has Breach 3, and basically its effect is very interesting. It says during pair Cyber new type pilot, one of your Titans units destroys an enemy shield card with damage. All right, or a shield area card with damage. This unit recovers 2 HP. And then before we dive into it, of course, we got to go over to 4 and check out her effect. 4 is a level 5 1 cost 2/1 pilot, and it says during link once per turn during your turn, when this unit recovers HP, if you have 4 or less cards in your hand, draw 1. And so this is actually going to be monstrous. So first and foremost, when you pair these guys together, they make a 6/6, which is a very respectable stat line. Now, the other thing about 6/6 as a stat line is you can survive a lot of the good meta cards in this game that end up having 5 AP, that end up having 4 AP. So we're already here with this one. Now, the next part about this that's really cool is that Breach 3, right, is going to obviously be able to run over cards. Now, the during pair Cyber new type pilot effect isn't limited to once per turn, and note how it says one of your Titans units. It doesn't have to be Psycho Gundam. It can literally just be any Titan unit. Now, the other part about this, and forgive me if I stumble because I'm just reading this as I'm going along and giving you guys my first take, but the thing about this is that when you have this kind of effect, right, if you notice, this is actually something that can work with Breach. A lot of people are confused about Breach. Breach is not battle damage. Breach is effect damage. The thing about this unit though is that it doesn't ask you for battle damage. If you look at Sinanju, I just had to read it before I started this. Sinanju specifically says destroys a shield area card by battle damage. Psycho Gundam does not. So if you swing over something and you breach it, and then you destroy a shield card with Breach, you're healing too. If you destroy a base with this Breach, you're healing too. So that's also very cool. And this thing could be at 1 HP. You could swing over something with 5 AP and then destroy a shield and gain 2. And then you could have another Titan swing in and break a shield area card and this will gain 2. So this is a very, very cool effect and truly a general amongst its archetype. Now, pairing it with or linking it with 4 is very important because during your turn, if the unit recovers HP and you have 4 or less cards in hand, you draw 1. This is great because mid to late game, 5 cards in hand is a very healthy hand, but you're very likely to be at 5 or below, meaning that every time this gets it in and attacks a shield, you're going to be able to draw a card. On top of that, you don't even have to have this one be the one that destroys the shield. It's actually just really neat. As long as Psycho Gundam is linked with 4, and you are playing a Titans deck, you will have a steady stream of card advantage, and I think that this is stellar. So, I don't know if I want to do a 1 out of 10 or if I want to do A through S. I'm just gonna say A through S, or sorry, F through S, right? I'm gonna say 4 is, you know what? I don't know how I want to rate these. Look at this. I'm gonna say 4 is a 5 out of 5. I think a 5 stars, like 4 in Psycho Gundam this is exactly what I want to see for synergy, and I think that this is truly what I want to see out of a card like this. You have your Titan archetype, and when Psycho Gundam and 4 come down, you know it's on. It's a powerful card with a powerful effect and a powerful linking capability. I think this is amazing. Not to mention the flexibility with Cyber new type pilot, because then you are able to, if you were to run something like red blue with a different kind of spice to it, you could run pilots like Full Frontal, like Merida, and you could at least link to, or you could pair with this, and you won't have a link, but you will be able to trigger this this healing factor. So there are a lot of cool things. I like it when it's left open like this. Yeah, you won't get the link effect of Merida, but you will be able to still heal. Full Frontal can potentially cheat bigger things into board while allowing you to have the healing thing. So I think this is just really, really cool. Now, the next pair that we're going to have here is Gundam Epyon and Zex Marquise. Ooh. So, level 8, 7 cost, and it's a 6/6, so good stats. During link, once per turn, during your turn, when this unit destroys an enemy unit with battle damage, set this unit to active. So it's going to be a dual attacker, but it has to attack a unit first. So this means you can attack a unit twice, or units twice. You could attack unit and then face. You could attack a unit and then just stand it up so it can't be attacked next turn. There's a lot of versatility to this card. And then when you get to Zex Marquise, this is from the second starter deck of the game, Wings of Advance, I believe. And this is a level 5, 1 cost. Of course, it's a +2/+1, and then you have the during link, during your turn, when this unit destroys an enemy unit with battle damage. See, there you go, battle damage versus effect damage, draw 1. And this is not once per turn. So when you apply this, you're going to have a 8/7, right? And this 8/7 can essentially destroy a battle or destroy a unit, and then you're going to draw, and then you can decide whether or not you want to keep it untapped, swing into shields, or swing into another body. Now, this is cool in the sense that you have a pretty big body. I wish Zex was a 1/2. Still, I said that when we were looking at Tall Geese. When you have a card that wants to swing into bodies, it needs more HP than AP. Once you get over 6 AP, it's fine. Like, you are literally fine. Once you get up to 7 AP, there are very few things in the game that don't die to you swinging into it. But an effect like this needs more HP. Right now, if you swing over anything of mild value, you are opening yourself up to be attacked on the counter below, which is maybe why it's good that it can just untap and not do anything. I think it's also pretty nice that you can swing twice into bodies and just literally draw twice. Draw power is most certainly needed in this game. But at the end of the day, this card still requires you to swing on a body, which is going to potentially have its HP pool, and then it also comes out on 8 resources, and you have to think to yourself, if you're playing a ramp deck or a deck that gets this late in the game, are you trying to play something like Gundam Wing, which can clear an entire board depending, or soften it up, or at least like punch holes in it? Or are you trying to play Epyon, which will need to have things rested in order to attack them, and then all sorts of things? I think at the end of the day, this guy is kind of weird. Maybe I'm underrating him, but I give Epyon like 2 out of 5. I think Epyon is a slightly better Tall Geese Zex combo, but Tall Geese and Zex was already like kind of trash tier to me. Like, it wasn't that great of an effect. And so now I'm sitting here like, well, this is just Tall Geese Zex Part 2. and that wasn't great to begin with. So I'm giving Epyon and Zex as a rating a 2-star rating. Now, our next pair is going to be the Elmeth and Lala Soon. We're moving over to green. And the Elmeth is a level 6, 5 cost, 4/4 body with Lala Soon as the obviously the link part. I need to stop saying that. It's already there. And then Zeon as its trait. And then moving, you see like the effect here. You have like deploy. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You may reveal 1 green Zeon pilot among them and add it to your hand. Return the remaining cards randomly to the bottom of your deck. So that's good search. And then during link, this unit gets +2 AP. Now, going over to Lala, right? You do have a level 3 1 cost, +1/+1 Zeon new type. When paired, choose one of your other Zeon link units. It gains breach 1 during this turn. So, this is very interesting. When you pair them, Elmeth will become a 5/5, and then during its own effect, it's going to become a 7/5. 7/5 is a little dubious because your AP is through the roof, but your HP is very easily tradable by a lot of things, even more so with the Iron Blood starter deck coming out, or that's already out. And now, yeah, like, so you pretty much have with Iron and Blood, that's pretty interesting. But deploy, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You may reveal 1 green Zeon pilot. This is neat for a couple reasons. You're searching out Char, right? And that's going to be neat. But you can also search out Lala. In a pinch, there can be times where you tap 5 to play Elmeth, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, find your Lala, link with Elmeth, and then swing for game. And this provides reach you didn't already have. This could literally grab your pilot out of thin air. And I think that's actually something to really be aware of. This offers big Zeon mid-range, a very, 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 very cool way to slap shot somebody from the top of the deck. Or even set up for other turns. This, at the end of the day, will only take up 6 of your 4 energy. So, something that's really, really cool about this, looking at Lala, is you can set up some really cool alley-oops. Now, when it comes to this, you have Lala Soon, right? And Lala Soon is just kind of weird. Choose one of your other Zeon Link units. It gains breach 1 during this turn. Other, obviously not her, which is unfortunate. And then you have to think about where this is gonna go. You don't necessarily want to give something like Char Zaku 2 breach. I mean, breach is fine and all. Like, you can swing into something, get a search, and then breach 1, which is still really, really good. So yeah, that's cool. But you can also get some meteor body things, or meteor bodies things. And the crazy part about this is going to be the level of reach you can possibly have with these two guys. So think about it this way: if you have the if you have like a Char Zaku in hand, right, and you have Lala and Elmeth, and you're sitting there at I need to see what you would need to have 9 resources for this combo, right? You could pull off a funky play like playing out Elmeth, searching your top 5. Oh, there's my Char, taking it to hand, playing out Char Zaku too, right? And now that's a 7 you played this turn. So then you play out Lala. Lala links with Elmeth, so now you've got this attack on board. And, or sorry, you link with Char first, then you link with Elmeth. Elmeth now, or now Char is linked to Elmeth. I'm tripping over myself visualizing this. Give me a split second. Sorry guys, I just got off of work and I'm doing this and I'm looking over these cards for the first time, so this is like really kind of like that. But you guys, I hopefully you can see the vision. You play Elmeth for 5, you look at your top 5, you pick up Char off the top of your deck. You play out Char Zaku 2, you play Char under it, and then after playing Char under it, you link with Lala, and that's 9 resources. But now Lala is going to give Char and Char Zaku 2 breach. And then you're going to be able to now swing in on something, breach 1, or maybe Elmeth will just take out the base, and then you'll swing over their biggest body with a huge Char Zaku 2, and then he's just going to be able to cause breach afterwards. So that's what I mean. There's other things you can do here. Like, I mean, he could pick up a, like, Lala could have picked up, you could pick up a Gelgoog or drop a Gelgoog on the board. A normal Gelgoog, like the, not Char's Gelgoog. You drop a Gelgoog on the board and then have, Elmeth pick up Char or Qubeley, and then you can link it there. There's a lot of different things you can do, but I just like this. You also can pull a lot of combos out of nowhere just because of that top 5 search effect. So I'm actually, when it comes to Elmeth and Lala, I want to give them a 5, but I think I'll give them a 4 because at this moment in time, without fully coming over the other set, a 6 cost play in Zeon seems very late in the game, much later than what the deck typically wants to do, and so I can't put this in a 5 out of 5. I think the effect is stellar, but this seems very much so mid-range, and until I comb through the set and see if Zeon is going more mid-range in this set, I can't with in good faith just give this a 5 out of 5. Alright, next card, we've got Gundam Age-1 Normal, and this is a level 3, 2 cost, 2/2, Earth Federation Age System deploy. You may discard 1 green Earth Federation unit card. If you do, place 1 EX resource, and if you're a level 7 or higher, draw. And then the pilot, Flit Asuno, is a just level 3, 1 cost, +1/+1, and it says when linked, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may reveal 1 green Earth Federation unit card / 1 card with age device in its card name amongst them and add them to your hand. Return the remaining cards randomly to the bottom of your deck. So a little search for green Earth Federation or the age device, and that's really cool. Having a pilot that essentially is trying to replace itself in hand is always going to be good for me. Now, I think the other cool thing about this is if you don't miss and you play out Gundam Age-1 Normal, you are going to be hitting basically a full replace in hand, and I think that's actually incredibly strong for what it does. You're only getting a 3/3 unit, and that's going to be the main part that holds this guy back from being top tier, in my opinion. I have to see, again, I have to look at the entire archetype, but the fact that you for literally 3 resources, you can play this guy and discard a card, so that's a -2. That, I guess it is a -1 overall. They can't let us plus in this game, but if you have 5 cards in hand and you play out Gundam Age Normal, you discard a card, and if you're at the correct threshold, you draw a card. But then you play out Flit, and Flit's going to search your top deck, and if you don't miss, you replace him. So instead of a hard -2 in your deck, you're going to only be minusing 1 to play out this combo if you play it under the correct conditions, and you're going to be digging 2 cards deeper. Actually, sorry, you're going to be digging 4 cards deeper in your deck. And I think that that's actually really cool. But the 3/3 is incredibly easily wiped, so without seeing the rest of the archetype, I am going to have to put this as a 3 out of 5. I think it's cool, but playing a 2 cost, once you're sitting at, like, you have to have 6 total resources, EX resources, because you're going to be adding 1 and then doing that. Now granted, you don't even have to discard. If you don't have to discard and you're already at level 7, you can just play this card, not discard, and do that, and it's a break even. You're going to draw a card because of the condition for the Gundam Age-1 Normal, and then you're going to be searching a card off the top of your deck with Flit. So I think it's a solid 3 out of 5. Now we're on to red, and we have the Qubeley, and the Qubeley is actually looking pretty sweet. It's huge. It's huge. We are finally looking at big daddy numbers. We are looking at big daddy numbers. The Qubeley is a level 7 5 cost 5/5. Actually, I suppose Big Mommy? I don't know. It can't be Big Daddy because Haman Karn is. All right, look, we're not getting into semantics. The point is, we are looking at a level 7 5 cost 5/5. When linked, this unit gains suppression. So we are here with the keywords here. So yeah, we will be able to hit 2 shields at once with this. And then during pair, Neo Zeon Pilot attack, choose 1 damaged enemy unit, deal 2 damage to it. Okay. This is going to be insane. This is also showing that we're getting big red Zeon, or Neo Zeon, big red Neo Zeon, and I think that's cool because we were already seeing certain things like that with Shamblo, but we're starting to see this. Sinanju is going to be in the wheelhouse, and so we might actually start seeing some chonkier control versions. But this card is insane on its own, but we still have a pilot to go over, and that pilot is Haman Karn. Shout outs to my homie Super Squez, who I know is just screaming that this is out in set 2. You have a level 5 1 cost pilot +2/+1, and then when paired, if this unit is red, choose up to 1 enemy unit whose level is equal to or lower than this unit, deal 1 damage to it. At the level 7 kind of spot, you are likely going to reach that threshold no matter what. Like, most things on the board are going to be free game to this. The crazy part about this is that you have the ability to now go, once they're together, it's a 7-6, and the moment you pair it, you're gonna ping something for 1. Most things on the board are going to be able to be pinged for 1. After you ping it, when you attack, you're going to be able to deal 2 more damage to it. So in the case of like a blocker, that rules out Zwart. That rules out like, actually it's just pretty much Zwart. But there are going to be plenty of other effects you can use to help burn things, and so there's a lot of setup and play you can do with this. Suppression makes it a clean boss monster, allowing you to control the board and then take over the field late game, mid game, late game, when you can start dropping these multiples. That's level 7, so late game. When you start dropping multiples of these, taking your opponent's shields in chunks at a time after you've made sure that you've burned their cards off the board. Now, I think that this is actually really strong. Something that I do want to point out is that you have not only the ability to pair with Amon Karn, but once this is on the board, you're threatening 2 shields every turn while you're just pinging things for 2 left and right. You play a card that can deal something 1 damage, cool, congratulations, and Qubeley swings is going to deal it 2 more damage. This is really, again, like the Psycho Gundam, a general to its archetype. This is going to be like, okay, so what's the payoff to pinging things? How about a bigger ping? And I like this. They have to get this off the board. It's a lightning rod, because between suppression and this 2 damage every time it can swing, we are looking at a true menace to the battlefield, as long as we can find a deck that can get to this turn like safely in this color. So yeah, I think this is good. It's hard to tell. I know this is at minimum a 4 out of 5, but I think between the fact that every time this card goes sideways, it levels just game-ending power between suppression and just the pseudo removal, the soft removal that it provides. So I'm gonna say this is a 5 out of 5 for me. The only thing that may be an issue is if a red base deck can get this high, can survive this late in the game. But I think the game is still fast enough to where, unless you're playing aggro or against aggro, you can easily get to this level. But on top of that, I think that if any color has the tools to stop aggro from completely dominating them, it is probably red. So yeah, I think this is great, and I'm excited to see how this card and these 2 cards actually go together. And now we're going to move on to the next pair. We've got Gundam Versago, which is going to be a level 5 4 cost 4/4 breach 1, and then deploy. If there are 3 or less enemy shields, choose 1 enemy unit with 5 or less AP, deal 2 damage to it. So that's pretty cool. And then you have the pilot, Shagia Frost, which is level 4 1 cost, +1/+2. During link attack, choose one of your new UNE units. It gains +2 AP for the turn. Okay, so here we go. The cool thing is, first and foremost, when they are linked, this is going to be a 5/6, respectable stat line, very respectable stat line. Breach 1 is so annoying, but basically it just means that if your opponent does not have a base, when you go for a body, you're also going for a shield, which Breach 1 is just actually just insane. Like, yes, Breach 5 is crazy because it just destroys bases, but even Breach 1 just means that you don't have to split focus between body and face anymore. You can just hit bodies and also incrementally destroy face. Now, the deploy, if there are 3 less enemy shields, choose 1 enemy unit with 5 or less AP, deal 2 damage to it. This is pretty cool with a little Punisher effect. If you've already got momentum, congratulations, take some more momentum. So I dig that. And then you have the Shagia Frost, which is just going to, during link attack, and you can boost something by 2. So this is very interesting, because when it comes down to it, I think this is going to be an in-house effect. Shagia's like effect doesn't really help you if you're not running new UNE, and so that makes it very much so archetype locked in general. And then when you have the but Gundam Versago is a solid card. It's a solid card. The only issues though is that the deploy also means that if you're behind, like your opponent has been able to retain a lot of their shields and you're playing from behind, you're not getting half of his effect. He's just a 4 cost breach 1 4/4 that you have to link with, so that holds it back considerably. Cards that are situational, can only be used at certain stages or certain, parameters of the game, those are always going to be lower on the tier list for me. So I would say that Gundam Versago is a solid 3, and Shagia has a good effect in archetype. He's a 1/2, which is great because, 2 HP units are pretty tight. However, I do think that all together, these definitely make a fine just 3. Just a 3 out of 5. Hey y'all, I hope you guys are enjoying this video. Just wanted to say real quick, if you are still watching, you should probably just hit that like button to make sure the video thrives. Make sure you show me that you're enjoying this. If you're on mobile, maybe click that hype button. That would really be appreciated. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We're doing a lot of things. Earlier in the video, I did explain about my new membership and how to get a lot more gameplay in the upcoming weeks. So I hope you guys actually try that out, see if you like it. We're going to have the first iterations of those coming out tomorrow. And then on top of that, if you want to help me hit another goal, you can always hop over to my Twitch, hit that follow button. We're trying to get to 1,000 followers. It'll be in the description if you want to check it out. Thank you guys, and let's get back to the content. Okay, now on to one of my personal favorites. We have got GQuax Omega Saikamu. Now, this, and we also have Machu as well. Now, this is a level 7 5 cost, and it's going to have the stats of 5-4, which is pretty decent. The 4 HP is a little scary, but yeah. And then deploy, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may deploy 1 clan unit that is level 4 or lower amongst them. Return the remaining cards randomly to the bottom of your deck. And then when we go over to Machu, Machu is a level 4 1 cost pilot, +2/+1 stat line. Unfortunate. Clan, new type. And then when linked, look at the top card of your deck. If it is a clan card, you may reveal it and add it to your hand. Return any remaining cards to the bottom of your deck. There's a couple of things we got to talk about here. One, the stat line. The stat line is not that great. Like I said, once you get over 6 AP, you're pretty solid for most things. But the difference between 5 and 6 HP is a huge amount. So I don't like the fact that we're only getting up to 5 HP. That just does not feel that great. Now, the other thing here is that level 7 comes out fairly late in the game, and I understand that because technically this guy could play out 2 bodies at once. But we got to talk about that deploy effect as well, because it looks really great on the surface, but I do have to admit there's a lot of ways this can miss. It says deploy, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may deploy 1 clan unit with is level 4 or lower. Now that automatically means if you hit another one of these, you can't hit it. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, is the red Gundam. Let me go over to I was gonna go through my files, but it's trying to act a fool. So when you go over to the red Gundam, I'm not sure if he's actually applicable. I think it's there may be a case that he's not applicable, but there's gonna be some hits in your deck that will be clan but cannot be used with these, and I think that's a little scary. The other thing is, like, you know, if you're splashing anything that's not clan, of course you can miss. Top 3 is not that deep, but I understand that you have to make it top 3 in order to not make it broken. So that's going to be a whole thing right there. Now the other cool thing, the other thing that makes me kind of sad is that Machu says when linked, link the top card of your deck. If it's a clan card, you may reveal it and add it to your hand. If not, return the remaining cards to the bottom of your deck. So that means that if it is a target, you take a target that you may have been able to play out with GQuax. If it's not a target, though, you do bottom it and hopefully up your chances of getting a card of GQuax. If you're running a full clan deck and there's barely any cards that aren't clan in it, then either way, you're going to be fine. But if you are running a more teched out version that splashes, this card may not be the card for you. I think because of how late in the game it comes out, it's HP at that late stage of the game, and because of how narrow to have to make your deck, and how even with just commands, pilots, and bases in your deck, you may whiff with this card anyway. I have no choice but to put GQuax Omega Saikamu as a 3, maybe pushing it to 4. I do think that this card is very good, but it's very limited. It doesn't necessarily break the game, and if you whiff, you just paid 5 for literally just a 5-4. And at that stage of the game, there's a lot that can get in the way of this card. So as much as I love GQuax, I think this is a strong 3, a low 4, somewhere between there. Next, we're on white now, and you've got Zeta Gundam. And Zeta Gundam is a 6-5 or level 6 5 cost, 5-4 stat line. During link, activate main once per turn. Choose 1 active friendly base. Rest it. If you do, set this unit to active. It can't choose an enemy player's attack target for this turn. Very nice. So you don't have the option to swing into another shield, but you don't have to swing into a unit in the first place, like things like Epyon. You can swing into shields and just untap this, and then choose if you want to swing into a body, and then choose if you just want to leave it up. So I think that's pretty cool. And then 5-4, scary stat line, like I said before, but luckily for us, Camille is a 1-2 pilot. He's actually more than just a 1-2 pilot, but he's a level 5 1 cost, and then he just has the +1 with the indication that there's a condition, and then +2 when there's a friendly white base in play. This unit gains AP +2, making this technically the first, like he's a 3-2 pilot, making this guy they put this guy on Hito Yui status immediately, and I think that's actually really cool. I guess Hito Yui can give like 3 AP, and that's kind of wild, but the point is or 3 HP, right? I think so, yeah. Anywho, Camille is definitely a crazy pilot. Pairing Camille with Zeta makes Zeta a freaking 8-6, and that is going to be crazy. 8-6 is heft, and you're taking down anything you try to swing on. So I think that this makes Zeta Gundam crazy. Also, the fact that you have that stat line and you're able to swing and then just kind of pop back up is wild. 6 AP or 6 HP is going to allow it to dodge Amuro, so they'll have to damage it before anything, and this may actually be very good at just keeping itself out of range by poking and untapping, poking and untapping. If you ever need to, you can just poke twice, one on the shield, another on a body. He's erasing pretty much whatever he swings into. I think that this is a monster dub combo. It's simple, but it's sweet. The only interesting condition is having a friendly base out, but you know, if that's what all of the Zeta cards revolve around, or at least the AU from Zeta, you can probably just make that pretty happen easily. So I give this guy either because of his simplicity and the fact that he needs a base to go full crazy, a friendly white base to go crazy. I'm gonna put this guy at strong 4, maybe in 5. He is very simplistic, and sometimes these straightforward cards to just do what they need to do are the best. So he could just be a 5 in the future, but I think right now this combination is definitely a very strong 4 or a pretty solid 5. Next, we have Gundam Chimeras, and it is a level 5 4 cost 4/4. Then you have the Gjallarhorn and Gundam frame, and it just says deploy if there are 4 or more Gjallarhorn cards in your trash, draw 2. If you do, discard 2. Then going over to the pilot, you have Galeo Baldwin, and he's a level 3 1 cost +1/+1 that says when paired, if there are 4 or more Gjallarhorn cards in your trash, choose one enemy unit. It gains -2 during this turn. It looks like Gjallarhorn has a lot of cards that do minus ability or minus AP, and then you even have some cards that, like, you know, like the SR that could rest, or the McGillis that can rest things as well. So I think this is pretty cool. At the very end of the day, it's a 5/5 draw 2, discard 2, which is going to help you sculpt your deck. It's going to help you get through other cards, and depending on what you're running, like if you're running academy cards that need cards in trash, or you're running a white purple deck but the purple is vulture, because I did see some of those cards at the graveyard threshold, you're going to be able to fill up your trash fairly quickly. I think this card is good because it helps you dig into your deck. 5/5 is at least a respectable stat line, even if it does get traded with pretty much any other linked pilot worth its salt. I do think that's pretty cool. Now, it does say deploy if there are 4 or more Gjallarhorns in your trash. Kind of sucks. I wish this said, like, so it's mechanically correct in the sense that you draw 2 and discard 2. That means you can draw 2 and discard your 2 worst cards. But the fact that it counts your Gjallarhorns in trash before you discard kind of sucks. So there are going to be some times you get caught lacking, or you just don't have the ability to play this card out. You don't have enough cards in trash. You know, even if you overflowing affection, one of your bodies died, that could only be 2 cards that you've gotten into the drop, the trash area, before you're able to get this effect off. So I have to give this guy a 3. He's not crazy stellar. He is providing you more looting, more drawing, more discarding, but the issue is you can get caught lacking. You can reach 5 resources or 4 resources and the EX resource and not have his condition in trash met, I feel like. Past that, Galileo is pretty cool. The ability to -2 is pretty neat. Combined with other effects that you may have going on the board, you may just be able to minus something by 2, 3, 4, and then swing over it. All overall, I think this is a pretty decent card. Pretty decent pair. And now we are over here looking at Gundam X. Now, Gundam X is a level 7 5 cost 6/5, and it was the first card we saw that had suppression. During Link, during your turn, while there are 7 or more cards in your trash, all other Vulture units gain AP +2. This guy comes down, starts busting cheeks, and he also has just the ability to buff the entire board. Now, this is cool because now we have Garradran and Tifa Adil, and this is a 1+1+2 pilot. It's a level 4 1 cost, and then when paired, you may discard one. If you do, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may reveal 1 Vulture unit among them and add them to your hand. Return the remaining cards randomly to the bottom of your deck. So he's actually going to replace himself if you're running a full Vulture deck. Now, the thing I like about this is I think this is a pretty cool thing. Like, this reminds me very much of Psycho Gundam. Maybe it's not the same amount of strength between the healing and the drawing, but suppression should not be underestimated. It is a powerful mechanic, and with this, if your opponent has a base and you already have like a Vulture card on the board, AP+2 is enough to push a lot of them into base destroying capabilities, especially if you have one that has 4 and you boost it up to 6, and now it can bust those 6 HPs. But because of Gundam X's effects, he's going to allow other Vultures to clear the way so that he can come through with suppression and completely blow through those shields. So I think that Garrett, I think Gundam X and Garrett are definitely sitting somewhere in the strong 4, solid 5 range. I think they're doing what they need to do for their archetype. Very powerful effect, very straight to the point and simple, but very effective, I think. Next, we have Gundam Barbatos First Form, which is a level 3 2 cost 3/2 attack. If this unit is damaged, draw 1, attack it in Gundam frame, and then it pairs or links with Mikazuki from the starter deck. This is a level 4 1 cost +2/+1. When paired, choose one of your enemy units and one enemy unit, or one of your units and one of your enemy units, deal 1 damage to them. Okay. So I see the draw 1, and that feels good, right? But here's the thing. You're going to be pairing this with Mikazuki, instantaneously making this a 5/3, which then has to ping itself, making it a 5/2. 2 HP is nothing. This can get traded with by a singular 1-drop with a 2/2 stat line. This can get double gun cannon Angsha, close combat, battle of aces, Sinanjude, Kshatriyad, the list goes on and on. This card is it's red victim. It's a red victim. It's a ping victim. Like, I hate it. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, I really want to be proven wrong with this. I really want this card to be used and for me to prove wrong. But I feel like in most cases, you are going to get a singular draw from this guy. And if your opponent has a blocker or a burn spell, it might not even, like, that's it. That is literally it. If your opponent has a blocker or a burn spell, GG. You get your draw, and then congratulations, you went -1 because you played 2 cards and you replaced 1 in hand, but you also lost the body, so feels worse than a -1. Then on top of that, if they do have a card that can go sideways into it, it's gone the following turn unless you have blockers or some way to protect it. I think that the 2 stat line when these guys are linked is abysmal, and it makes me feel like this card has no staying power, and so the draw is kind of almost a trick. Now, if this changes, I will be the first person to be like, yeah, I was wrong, and I am glad, because I love IBO. But right now, this definitely kind of looks like a trap. You see the draw 1, you think, oh yeah, every turn I get to draw 1, but like your opponent with basic cards or 1/1s, like literally a 1/1 Zaku, GM, Jin, the Grays Customs, they'll be sitting on the other side of the field looking like Debo from Friday, like what draws? Like, because they're gonna just get over you the following turn. I'm not here for it. That's just me. So yeah, I'm not gonna hold you. I'm sorry, guys. I'm giving Gundam Barbatos First Form Mikazuki a 1 star out of 5. I think that this is not it. I think the stat line needed to be different, and I just don't vibe it. And then we're looking at our final pair of the video, and we have got the Gundam Gishon Rebake, or is it Rebake? I can't remember. It's been a long time since I watched IBO. By a long time, in a couple months, but time does not fly here. It drags. So it's been a long time, and I can't remember how to pronounce that. Somebody in the comments let me know. I'm sure you guys will, even without me asking. Level 5, 4 cost, 3/5, and this is a blocker. It says deploy, choose one of your units and one enemy unit, deal 1 damage to them. Attack it in Gundam frame, and then the pilot is Akihiro Atlan, and this is a level 3 1 cost +1/+1 during link. During your turn, when this unit destroys an enemy unit with battle damage, choose one Tekkadan unit card that is level 2 or lower from your trash, add it to your hand. All right, so this is very, very interesting because I don't think Akihiro's effect really does anything here. Like, all right, you know, like you're gonna pair him here and you can attack that turn. This turns him into a 4/6, which is a very respectable stat line. If you destroy something by battle, you were then able to take one of your 2 costs. That's mostly just going to be vanillas and small things because it's only units. It's not like anything else. So you've got a limited pool of cards that you can get. And honestly, if you're playing an aggro deck that's using these 1-drop 2/2s, I don't think you're playing a card as fat as Gundam Epyon because he doesn't add too much pressure when it comes to aggression. He doesn't have suppression. He's not doing things like that. So I'm kind of wondering where this card is going to lay outside of being a thick blocker. If you're playing a more mid-range white purple, this guy may actually just be that dude. But he may be that dude because you're putting down a 3/5 blocker that can ping your opponent, adding even more to your control. I don't think he's going to be that dude for pairing him with Akihiro. That's just me though. When it comes to this, I think almost all the value currently is on Gundam Epyon, not Akihiro. And so I'm going to put this pair as a 2 out of 5 just because I think that Gundam Epyon is actually very, very solid, I think. But Akihiro doesn't give anything to it, in my opinion. During your turn, it's during Link during your turn. So he can't even destroy somebody on the block and then get this effect. If he just said during Link once per turn, this would be something I'd be all for because he could block and then just get a 1-drop back for you to use next turn. But just to get the pilot's effect, you have to turn off its blocker. I don't vibe that. I think that actually feels incredibly bad. So yeah, that's me right there. And so there we have it. That was a little long, but like I said, I had a lot to get into. We just went over every LR and their paired pilot. Yeah, I think that was actually pretty fun. Let me know what you guys think. If there are any of those pairings that you agreed with, that you disagreed with. If you do agree with it, just like hit that like button, you know what I mean? Like I said, hit that like button, subscribe so you can see more Gundam content. We're gonna be going crazy with the set 2 stuff. And if you disagreed, take your hatred, ball it up in a fist, and use that fist to smash the like button anyway, because I'm gonna keep taking takes, but I would love to hear why you disagreed. So yeah, thank you guys for being here. Like I said, look forward to some purple gameplay tomorrow, as well as more coverage for set 2, because we will be going crazy style on the coverage for this. And then last but not least, if you want to go over, check out my gaming channel, Universe X Media, where I'm streaming Digimon Time Stranger currently and doing coverage on other games as well. Or go to my Twitch, give it a follow. Links will be in the description because I'm trying to get to 1,000. It would really help me out for some future endeavors I'm getting into. And yeah, thank you guys. I will see you later. Goodbye.